So this is what lies ahead for the first of the tarmac rallies. Rally HQ is based in the ski resort of Borovet, 70 kilometres south of the capital, Sofia, with the service area further down the road in Dolna Banja. There are only 14 stages, but these still add up to 354 competitive kilometres. P.G. Anderson on the leaderboard in the Drivers' Championship. These standings, of course, topped by Sebastian Loeb on 126 points. Man of the moment, Sebastian Ogier is second, 38 points behind. Mikko Hirvonen is the leading Ford on 76. Citroën are also on top in the Manufacturers' Championship. Their lead over Ford here, 26 points. There are just 4 stages for the crews to negotiate. 2 in the morning that are repeated in the afternoon, but they are both long. Stage 1 and 3 is the longest of the rally at almost 32 kilometres. The start is fast with some very long corners. The road tightens in the midsection before opening out towards the end for a very fast finish. The bumpier stage 2 and 4 is a tale of 2 halves. The first sees the crews climb to over 2,000 metres, and this is followed by a very fast descent to the finish. For the first time in 2010 then, we're back on the black stuff. Sebastian Loeb is the overwhelming favourite on any tarmac event. He's first into stage 1, and in a regulation change, co-driver Daniel Ellener's name is back alongside Loeb to the side of the Citroën. And the championship leader blasts his 300 brake horsepower machine into the Bulgarian countryside.
Sur gauche à fond. 100
This
mètres,
stage track
attention,
off
droite
by
100 mètres,
Eleanor in this
droite
fast flowing climb at the start of the Batak Lake stage. Similar to rally he has earlier here. Smooth lane feeding the Citroën from corner to corner. And most of the stage dried out after the overnight rain. All drivers have selected Pirelli's hard compound tyre. And after his first ever win in Portugal, it's Sebastian Ogier who's next into the stage. He's still an unknown quantity on asphalt events. Ogier, that sign to the left there. Third on the road is Mikko Hirvonen. It's been a frustrating first half of the season for the Finnish star. But from Mikko's bumper cam, you can see what the drivers were talking about earlier. It's really difficult to judge the exit of the corners with so much vegetation around. Not entirely comfortable on asphalt, Mikko does actually enjoy the challenge of tarmac rallies and has been working hard to improve his driving skills on this surface. Sight with the name Patterson alongside Petter Solbergs. The Norwegian is on his way, and for the first time in 152 events is competing without Phil Mills navigating. Chris Patterson is an experienced co-driver though, and the new partnership seems to have a good understanding. Up ahead in this long stage, meanwhile, Loeb is, as expected, excelling on his favourite surface. And let's take a look at virtual spectator to see how he's going at the split at 18.2 kilometres. He's the leader on the road. And Citroën are actually holding the first 4 places. The Fords of Mikko Hirvonen and his teammate Jari-Matti Latvala well off the pace. Hirvonen 11.8 seconds down, while Latvala is over 15 seconds behind at that point. Early days, of course, but Loeb's tarmac domination is showing little sign of easing up in Bulgaria. Back in the stage, Loeb's compatriot and namesake Ogier is attacking hard on this fast finish to their Batak Lake stage. Descent from the mountain means it's been hard work on the brakes, but Sebastian looks to have conserved his C4 well. Taking a look at the clock, he is going to be slower than the imperious Loeb. 9.1 seconds slower in fact, but it's going to be tough for anyone to get close to that effort from the world champion. Mikko Hirvonen, meanwhile, is pushing his Ford Focus RS hard through the last kilometre. Mikko's best finish on tarmac was a second-place finish in Corsica a couple of years ago, but with the Citroëns looking so strong, the podium finish could be a big ask here. Mikko sounding disappointed. Danny Sordo, meanwhile, is under pressure. Having been demoted to the Citroën Junior squad for gravel events, the Spaniard needs to produce on the 4 remaining tarmac rounds this season. And he's run Loeb close several times before on asphalt, but it doesn't look like he can match Loeb here in Batak Lake. No, even tarmac specialist Sordo is a lot slower, 8.6 seconds away from Seb's time, but Danny is the best of the rest through so far. Back with Solberg as he makes his way through the tricky descent towards the finish line.
Slight left, opens 80. 4 left, half long tightens, 2 minus.
The pace notes from new co-driver Chris Patterson,
50.
even more crucial than normal through these tree-lined roads. Very little markers for Petter to judge braking distances here.
And opens 60. 6 left minus half long tightens, keep in 40. 4 right tightens, 2
It's
minus.
a solid start for the new partnership
20.
though, Solberg and Patterson.
2 left
4th
minus
fastest
tightens,
in stage
1
1.
and opens 100.
Kimi Räikkönen's tarmac debut has been eagerly anticipated, considering Kimi is one of the hardest circuit races on the planet. He doesn't disappoint. Räikkönen is 5th fastest, ahead of the Fords of Hirvonen and Jari-Matti Latvala. Another driver whose performance will be closely followed in Bulgaria is Petty Anderson. The former Suzuki driver has real potential, and although not at his best on tarmac, produces a solid 8th fastest time in his first outing in full focus. It's a Citroën top 5 though after the opening stage in Bulgaria. Loeb has stormed into an early 8.6 second lead with Sordo and Ogier separated by just half a second. Kimi Räikkönen is in a fine 5th place ahead of 4 drivers Hirvonen and Latvala. So the Ford Focuses have it all to do. Can Hirvonen and Latvala turn things around in stage 2? It's coming up after this break. Welcome back to Bulgaria, where Sebastian Loeb has made the best start in the Rila Mountains. He leads from fellow Citroën driver Danny Sordo by 8.6 seconds. The dry weather has continued as the crews make their way up to the Belmeken Lake stage, which climbs to over 2,100 metres at this point of the rally. And joining Loeb now as he attacks through the early part of this impressive 27.5-kilometre stretch of road. Views back at the lake there. Typically neat and tidy up this flowing ascent. Well, Loeb initially made his mark on the WRC 7 years ago as a tarmac expert. The man many now sees that the champion success of Sebastian Ogier is very much an all-rounder. He has proven ability on asphalt, winning the Spanish round and of course for the 2008 junior title, and is clearly doing his best to keep Loeb honest. After 6 kilometres, Ogier pace. No sign of a shift in weather despite the low cloud and high altitude. Struggling to match the pace of the Citroëns at the moment. A bit of rain could work in Nico Hirvonen's favour. Another fast-flowing but still bumpy section here. Rhythm all important as he looks to carry speed through these corners. Then as he ought to stay in touch with the top 5. Up ahead in the stage, Loeb is already into the downhill section towards the finish. Trees flashing past as Seb reaches some breathtaking speeds, and he's responded well to Ogier's early pace in stage 2. The Citroëns already in a fight of their own. Hirvonen is doing all he can to get back on terms. But look at this, Ford's number 1 is already well off Loeb's pace. He's hemorrhaging time here. Another 23.6 seconds down and another crushing blow for Hirvonen. This could be a long weekend for the Finn. Other than Loeb, Petter Solberg's the only former winner on tarmac events in the field. The world champion has plenty of ability on asphalt and has wasted little time getting in sync with new co-driver Chris Patterson. They set the 2nd fastest time in stage 2. Kimi Räikkönen, meanwhile, continues to find his feet with impressive ease on his first tarmac rally. It's obviously still a very different prospect to racing wheel-to-wheel on a Formula 1 circuit, but the former Ferrari star clearly has more natural feeling with the grip levels on sealed surfaces. He's quicker than his more experienced compatriots at Ford for the 2nd stage in a row. It's been an incredible start to the rally for Kimi. Räikkönen remains in 5th place after stage 2, and Citroëns continue to lock out the top 5. The battle for 2nd has taken an early twist, with Ogier passing Sordo. He's now ahead by 2.6 seconds. Up ahead though, it's been a dominating display from Loeb so far. Returning up to the mountains, and the afternoon sees a repeat pass over the challenging pair of stages used in the morning loop. There could be little the chasing pack can do to stay in touch. There are some taking quick corners early in the back stage, but Sebastian looks completely unfazed as he keeps his foot planted firmly on the floor. Following his fine run through stage 2, Sebastian Ogier is now Loeb's closest challenger and looking good to continue his impressive run and strong results. Oh! Got that corner all wrong.
C'est quoi la note? 110 très long tard.
There's immediately some confusion with the pace notes. Perhaps misheard Julian Ingrassia there. He looks to be stuck fast.
Attention,
take another look at that.
Trace qui ferme léger. 150 mètres.
Julian warns of a corner at 150 metres, but way too fast in the approach and straight off into the ditch.
110 très long tard qui ferme léger.
First sign of hope for Mikko Hirvonen then. With one of the Citroens slipping up, Mikko can push on to break into the top 5 for the first time. He's actually beginning to find some pace early in this second loop. He's really coming into his own in the twistier sections. Mikko finally finding the confidence to push in stage 3. Up ahead though, Sebastian Ogier is still going nowhere. Completely wedged into the ditch. Some spectators are helping to push him out, but you can see from the clock he's already lost a lot of time. That's almost a minute lost there, and his second place is now a distant memory. Also able to take advantage of Ogier's slip up there. Peter Solberg is into the podium positions, another top 3 time at this stage. And Danny Sordo, who should now move back into second place.
A fondo 50 y atención, frenar, derecha un poco lenta corta y situar, queda 2 lenta redonda, 30.
There is only frustration for Ogier. Having worked hard to break into the runner-on spot, the Frenchman has a literal and metaphorical mountain to climb now to fight back into the podium places. Taking one look at his time compared to Loeb's here, you can see he's going to drop way back. Over a minute and 8 seconds lost. It's become a disappointing first day for Sebastian. It has been a much more satisfying stage for Hirvonen though. He's not really looking more comfortable with every passing kilometre. The 4th fastest time secures him 5th place on the leaderboard. With Mikko raising his game this afternoon, his fellow Finn Kimi Räikkönen is beginning to feel the heat. Citroen Junior now still showing impressive pace, but his lack of experience of tarmac rallying begins to show in stage 3. He only managed the 6th fastest time, and that means Hirvonen's closed right up. Mikko is now just 0.4 of a second behind Räikkönen, with the 3rd Finn on the leaderboard, Lapala, just under 9 behind his teammate. Loeb continues to lead the way, with Sordo now 2nd, and Ogier plummets down to 7th of the sea. Back to the front runners soon, but first a check on the drivers further down the leaderboard. Jari-Matti Latvala has been a little cautious following his Portugal crash. At the midday service, the team made his car harder at the front to help stability under braking, and it's reflected in an improved display in the afternoon. Hungarian Frigay Turan has made an impressive start behind the wheel of his Peugeot 307. He's the leading privateer other than Peter Solberg, and is running in an impressive 9th place. Duran's actually ahead of Matthew Wilson. The Stobart Ford man has had a torrid day trying to rediscover some tarmac form. A long brake pedal in stage 1 and a few setup issues in the afternoon to help his cause, and the grid's running down in 10th. Wilson's regular teammate Henning Solberg has switched to an S2000 Fiesta for the remaining tarmac events this year. He's the lead non-WRC car at 11th. Back to the action up at the front meanwhile, and the Bulgarian fans are being treated to another imperious performance from 6-time world champion Sebastian Loeb. Again in stage 4, despite losing a few tenths to his closest challenges through the early kilometres, Seb's controlled style is easier on the tyres, and with more grip later on, he makes it a clean sweep of scratch tyres on day 1. With the exciting talent of Sebastian Ogier falling away following his stage 3 error, the pressure has eased considerably on Danny Sordo. Ogier's recent form may have affected Danny's confidence, but it's been a strong start to this new event for Sordo.
Derecha 8 a fondo, acaba rasante a fondo, 60.
Taking his time to bed in new co-driver Chris Patterson, it's been a slightly cautious opening there for Peter Solberg. He sets the 3rd fastest time on the final stage despite a small tyre problem, and there could be more to come from Petter over the next 2 days.
Top 2. And late into 6 left minus extra long tightens 3.
Despite all their hard work on tarmac performance in the summer break, it's been a disappointing display by Ford and Mikko Hirvonen so far. The Finn won't have been helped by the hiatus altitude stages on day one. We saw in Mexico the Citroen C4 seems to operate better at altitude. Mikko can at least set his sights on the fourth place. Known as the Iceman in his F1 days, Kimi should be able to handle the pressure. Beginning this stage just 4/10 of a second ahead of Mikko. He knows his position is under threat. Warned rain could be on the way. Kimi has opted for the soft compound tyre. He's currently up on Loeb's time through the early split times. Oh! He's completely misjudged that right-hander. Let's take another look. Just seems to completely misjudge the grip levels, and they slide off into the trees. Well, there are some slippery sections in this final run through Belmecken Lake, and Raikkonen's crash has proved how treacherous the roads are. Running immediately behind Kimi on the road is PG Anderson. Approaching the same corner now. You see Raikkonen skid marks off into the trees there. Anderson, like everyone else behind Kimi, gets a boost up the standings. The Swede now in 7th. Raikkonen and co-driver Kai Lindstrom are both thankfully unhurt, but that's a frustrating end to what had been an exciting tarmac debut.
I just went too fast in the braking and couldn't stop, and there's a little bit sand, so I couldn't turn it, and just tried to with the handbrake, but it just was too much speed, so we flipped it on the roof in the ditch.
At the end of the opening day then, Sebastian Loeb's incredible display leaves him with a lead of almost half a minute. Sordo's second, just under 10 seconds ahead of Petter Solberg, while the Fords of Hirvonen and Latvala received a bump up the standings following Raikkonen's crash. This is where the action is happening today. Bulgaria is in the southeastern corner of Europe. The rally is based in the town of Borovets, about an hour's drive from the nation's capital, Sofia. There are 6 stages today, totaling just under 141 kilometres, and here's a bit more information about what lies ahead. The second day of Rally Bulgaria sees a loop of 3 long stages repeated once. Sestrimo is an uphill blast, climbing from 500 metres to 1900 at the finish. While the third test used on day 3, Lubnitsa, is a stunning road through a gorge for 25 kilometres of challenging Bulgarian tarmac. So it's back to the action, and with much of the first stage still damp after overnight rain, for the first time this weekend, the teams have a pivotal decision to make regarding tyre choice. The obvious selection for this opening stage in these cool, wet conditions is to use Pirelli's soft compound tyre, which is exactly what Citroen and rally leader Sebastian Loeb have gone for. Rally Bulgaria is back underway. You can clearly see some damp patches on the ground there. With a lead of almost half a minute over his teammate Danny Sordo, the world champion is in a fairly comfortable position as day 2 begins. The Sestrimo stage is another mountain climb, and just look at the views here as Danny Sordo screams through the gorge. Sordo, of course, is no slouch on asphalt and has proved several times over the last few years that he's more than capable of winning on this surface. For now, though, his focus will be on maintaining his second place ahead of Petter Solberg. Solberg, in his first event with new co-driver Chris Patterson, is more than happy with his start in his second ever tarmac rally in the C4. The Norwegian declared at the end of day 1 there is still more to come in terms of speed, but selecting a setup a little too stiff for these damp conditions, he's not able to attack as much as he'd like on this opening stage.
Extra long tightens, 80, line in the 6 right half long tightens, 5 deep and neat, 70.
Strangely, despite the wet, cool weather, Ford have stuck with the hard compound tyre. Perhaps gambling the roads will dry out in the following 2 stages. Mikko Hirvonen does not seem at all comfortable through these treacherous damp roads. He's clearly struggling for grip, and this may have been a bad call by the team. Mikko could lose a lot of time in stage 5. Very tentative on the brakes there. Latvala 2 is driving on the hard compound tyre, and like his teammate, he's really in trouble on the wet asphalt. Already trailing the leading Citroens, this is the last thing the team needed. It's more good news for rally leader Sebastian Loeb, though. The French Frenchman is well on his way through the stage. He's into the narrow, bumpier roads further up the mountain. Really difficult to judge the exit of the corners in this tunnel of vegetation. But Seb is still totally in control and totally committed. This could turn out to be a crucial stage in the outcome of this rally. Danny Sordo is also dealing with the damp roads well on his soft compound tyres, and the two leading Citroens are on course to set incredible times. Back, Mikko Hirvonen continues to tiptoe his way through these tricky tree-lined roads. Unable to get any heat into the tyres, he's still off the pace. And just look at his time compared to Lopes here. Quite misty at the top of the mountain here too. Oh dear, over 1 minute and 5 seconds off the pace. Latvala's time has been just as bad, and his tyre choice has also played into the hands of Sébastien Ogier. The Frenchman began the morning in 6th, but only 20 seconds behind Hirvonen, with both Ford's Finns off the pace. The Citroën Junior man should have a fairly straightforward run back into the top 4. Yep, 43.1 seconds quicker than Hirvonen. Ogier leapfrogs both Fords to move up 2 places. There is more good news for the Citroën Junior team. Their impressive efforts overnight to get Raikkonen's car roadworthy were not in vain. The Finnish star is immediately back on the pace, setting an impressive 5th fastest time in stage 6.
50, oikein 4 täys 20, lyhyt vasen 3 jätä, jatkuu vasen 3 pirun pitkä.
So Ford's frustrating start to the day means it's a Citroën top 4 again. Loeb now leads by over 33 seconds from Sordo, with Solberg in 3rd and Ogier up to 4th. Hirvonen and Latvala slip to 5th and 6th. We have 2 more stages to run in the Rila Mountains before another service break. Sébastien Loeb continues to lead the way by a healthy advantage of 33.5 seconds over his teammate Danny Sordo. And we've joined the Spaniard now as he tackles the 18 kilometres of the Pestera stage. Another uphill climb to begin this test, but for the last 9 kilometres or so, it's a flat-out descent. Hundreds of fans lining the stage here. The Bulgarian public have really appreciated their country's arrival in the WRC. Danny seems really dialed into these sweeping bends, and little wonder, very similar to Sordo's home event at the Rally Catalunya here. Sordo has a terrific run through stage 6 and finally breaks Loeb's monopoly of stage wins. Danny claiming the fastest time by 3.5 seconds. Further back in the stage, Mikko Hirvonen's trying to make up some time after a frustrating start to the day. With the roads now dry, Mikko's hard compound tyres are better suited to these conditions, and he has a lot more grip than the opening stage. A terrific view of the surface here. The tarmac is fairly smooth, but plenty of bumps still throwing the car around. Hirvonen flashing past the undergrowth as he clips the apex of each corner to carry as much speed through as possible. Hirvonen is still slower than the leaders, but a lot more competitive than he was in stage 5. Per-Gunnar Andersson has made an impressive and controlled start on his first ever rally in a Ford Focus WRC car. The Stobart Ford man is not at his best on tarmac, but is beginning to find some pace. PG is 6th fastest in the first run through Pestera and is quicker than Mikko Hirvonen. As the crews make their way through rural Bulgaria, it's a strange sight for these normally sleepy villages as the roar of World Rally power pass by. Fascinating afternoon for the intrigued locals as the world's best rally drivers move on to stage 7. Unfortunately, this new event is a victim of its own popularity. The organisers are forced to cancel the first run through the Lubnista stage, with large numbers of spectators trying to gain late access to the end of the stage. There is little choice but to cancel the section, and the drivers all pass through at road speed. This is where we stand then as the crews head back to the service park. Loeb's lead has been trimmed slightly, but still stands at exactly 30 seconds. Peter Solberg has slipped adrift of Danny Sordo, with Ogier 4th ahead of the two Fords. Hope for the future of the Ford team then, but for now it's all about Sebastian Loeb at the midway point of Rally Bulgaria, and it's time to head back up to the mountainous Day 2 stages. First up is the steep climb through the 27.5 kilometres of Sestrimo, and after setting the quickest time through here this morning, Sebastian Loeb should again be the man to beat through here. Really narrow and bumpy in the latter part of the stage, the C4 suspension really working hard.
Et ferme 140 points. Et poste 5 tout droit sur vraie poussière pour 80 mètres. Gauche encore plus Milo.
Danny Sordo is again proving what a talent he is on tarmac rallies. With caution in mind, Sordo's opted to carry 2 spare tyres this afternoon, and the extra weight may be affecting the handling of the C4. He's a little off the pace. This is slightly worrying for Sordo because Peter Solberg is not too far adrift in third. After a couple of setup tweaks in service, the Norwegian has found another level this afternoon. Rapidly bearing down on the flying finish now, this is looking like a promising stage for Solberg and new co-driver Chris Patterson.
And 3 right plus tightens, 2 half long, tightens and opens. Okay.
Wow, what a time from the former world champion. Petter is right back in the hunt. Back in the stage, Mikko Hirvonen is looking to rebuild his confidence after a soul-destroying morning. Still on hard compound tyres this afternoon. It does seem to be the correct choice this time in the now warmer conditions. Really bumpy, broken tarmac, but it's a better run than the disastrous morning pass through Sestrimo. Mikko is 4th fastest and quicker than Sordo. Sebastian Ogier has opted for a mixture of tyre compounds with hards on the front and softs on the back. Technical section here. The Frenchman's also carrying 2 spares, and his hard-soft mixture has worked reasonably well. He sets the 3rd fastest time.
120 mètres, attention, frein droite 110, moins 1000 encore de pourri. 110, moins 1000 encore de pourri, 120 mètres. Frein droite 80 plus 1000 encore de sale glisse.
Also still having a good run is Hungarian privateer Frigay Turan. The Peugeot 307 driver has had another solid second day to maintain his 8th position. Turan's actually running ahead of Matthew Wilson. He's really been struggling to find his confidence on tarmac after several months without competing on this surface.
Max left long, 140.
The Stobart Ford man is almost 2 minutes behind in 9th.
Late right 1 plus long. Repeat, late right 1 plus long.
As we just heard, Wilson's regular teammate Henning Solberg has switched to a Super 2000 Fiesta, a normally aspirated machine making its distinctive high-pitched scream, and the Norwegian is in the final point-scoring place in 10th. A quick check on the standings after stage 8 then. Loeb's lead now stands at 33.9 seconds. Danny Sordo is now only 13.1 ahead of Peter Solberg, with Ogier in a comfortable 4th, followed by the 2 Works Fords. It's been another impressive display of tarmac driving from Sebastian Loeb today, and the fans are certainly enjoying the first ever Bulgarian WRC round. The leading Citroens, meanwhile, are already making a splash in the final 2 stages of Day 2. Loeb has never looked like relinquishing the lead he's held since the opening test. Sebastian truly is one of the most dominant tarmac drivers the sport has ever seen.
Moins sur Dani. 80 mètres. Gauche 120 bon milon, corde légère rail.
Looking at Loeb's in-car telemetry through one of this rally's challenging flat-out sections. Smooth tarmac and wide roads mean speeds in excess of 150 kilometers an hour.
100 mètres. Gauche ferme 130 bon long.
It's been another near-perfect day for the championship leader. Not far behind Citroen's number one is Loeb's teammate Dani Sordo. The Spaniard may have been demoted to the Citroen junior team for the remaining gravel rounds this season, but on sealed surfaces, Dani is still one of the best in the business. The extra weight of carrying two spare tyres, though, still seems to be holding him back a little. Petter Solberg, though, has been in scintillating form this afternoon. Petter's privately run team have really found the sweet spot with their earlier setup tweaks, and the Norwegian Citroen C4 has been absolutely flying through these stages.
6 right minus opens long.
Quickest again in stage 9 in 10. Petter is on course to take another bite into Sordo's advantage. Impressive start from Solberg, almost 5 seconds quicker than Dani. Petter is now just 4.7 seconds away from second place. The crews are finally getting a taste of the demanding Lubnitsa stage that was cancelled earlier. Ironically, Mikko Hirvonen's morning tyre choice may have worked for him here in the first loop had this stage been run. As it is, Ford's number one can do little about closing up on the leading Citroens. He remains 5th at the end of day 2. And there is yet more frustration for the Ford team. Halfway through stage 8, Jari-Matti Latvala's power steering began to fail, leaving him with a really tough workout as he fights to guide the Ford Focus RS through the final 2 stages. Latvala does well to make it to the end of the day with his 6th place intact, but the Finn is absolutely exhausted.
Without power steering, it was unbelievable. I just in the long run, I didn't have power anymore in my arms to keep holding the steering wheel, but luckily there were some fast sections that helped, and once we got the moment, because I couldn't turn anymore, we go going quite long time sideways, but we will survive.
Latvala's nearest challenger is PG Anderson, but the Swede is still over a minute adrift. The Stobart Ford driver will be content with his return to WRC Power, his first since a private entry in a Skoda Fabia at last year's Rally Norway. PG remains in a comfortable 7th. Kimi Räikkönen will be frustrated after his day 1 mistake, but the former Ferrari star's impressive pace has again been on display since his return, and over the course of today's 5 stages, he's fought his way up from 26th to 14th. Kimi now has a real chance of breaking back into the point-scoring places. At the moment, though, this is how the top 10 look. Loeb leads by 40.5 seconds from Sordo, but Petter's 3-stage wins this afternoon leave him just 4.7 seconds behind the Spaniard. That is the battle to watch tomorrow. South from the Bulgarian capital Sofia, and you will reach the ski resort of Borovets in the Rila Mountains, where this event is based. From here, the crews will head out to tackle 4 tarmac stages today, totaling 95 kilometres. Day 3 features another compact route made up of 2 long mountain roads repeated. At just under 30 kilometres, Mahovo is the longest and features a lot of surface changes as it climbs up and down the hills. The rally will finish with the second pass through the Slavovitsta stage, which includes some fast-flowing sections that should provide a spectacular finale to this new event. After Saturday morning's rain and fog, competitors left the service park under clear skies on the final morning with warmer temperatures of 21 degrees Celsius. Tyre choice at least a straightforward process for Sebastian Loeb, who's under starter's orders before the final charge to the finish. As As we've often seen in tarmac events in recent years, the world champion is in a comfortable position for the final day. The Citroën Total driver's focus will be to keep the car on the road. Seb's teammate Dani Sordo has a much less comfortable morning ahead. The Spaniard just 4.7 seconds in front of former world champion Peter Solberg. Dani, of course, has the added pressure of securing manufacturer points, which his rival doesn't need to worry about, but he'll still be determined to hold on to second place for personal pride.
40, izquierda 8 corta, se cierra 3, poco larga y poco bote exterior. Se cierra 3, poco larga y se abre.
2 minutes later, it's Solberg's turn to take on the 29.5-kilometre Mojave test. The Norwegian has said he'll be happy with a podium finish, but with second place within touching distance, the natural racer inside will be hard to resist. It's already been a terrific first rally with new co-driver Chris Patterson. The calm Osterman seems a perfect foil for the fiery Petter. Up ahead, Loeb continues to make it look easy. Again, a very tricky mixture of smooth and rough tarmac here. Seb may be cruising, but he'll need to maintain his renowned concentration and focus all the way to the finish. Some incredible views here as the Frenchman passes over a dam. He clears stage 11 with no dramas, and Citroën's #1 edges a little closer to yet another dominant tarmac win. There's another tricky descent from the Rila Mountains here in Mojave. Dani Sordo really working hard behind the wheel as he seeks to hold off Peter Solberg.
10, derecha 8 a fondo, 60. Y derecha 6, muy rápida, 50 fuera.
That's the first of today's 4 stages safely negotiated. But does Dani think he's done enough to stay in second?
Last part was really difficult because it's very close with the vegetation and every corner is close a little bit. So I try to don't push a lot the tires for have a really good car at the end.
Dani finding that tricky downhill finish a tough proposition. Then back in the stage, Petter's attacking hard through the same section. He's sideways there. That's his target time to snatch second. I don't think he can do it here. No, he's going to be slower. But he has trimmed the gap slightly. Sordo now just 3.8 seconds ahead.
So much at the end.
But it's now under 4 seconds. The pressure is on Sordo, not on Solberg.
I have nothing to lose. I'm just doing, like I say, no risk at all. This third place is so important for me. So if I get him, I get him. But it will be nice.
Over a minute behind the fight for second, Sébastien Ogier remains in a comfortable 4th position. Could have been so different but for one misheard pace note on day 1, but the Frenchman has recovered well since then. There's a bit of concern with an alarm sounding inside the car, so close to the finish line. Technical problem now would be hard to take. Wild slides through these gravel-covered corners, but Sébastien does make it through the first stage unscathed. Beating Sébastien Loeb on tarmac may have been a tall order, but after extensive work on the team's tarmac performance, Mikko Hirvonen has had a frustrating weekend. The Finn starts today in 5th, but almost 45 seconds behind Ogier. Mikko actually enjoys the challenge of tarmac rallying, but has again been soundly beaten by the Citroëns. You can see how hard these cars are pushed on this flat-out descent from Mikko's bumper cam here. Hirvonen looks unlikely to improve on 5th, but in that battle for second, Peter Solberg continues to edge closer to Sordo. The gap between them now just 3.8 seconds. Loeb's lead out front remains safe. Can Sordo hold off Petter? The battle continues after the break. Welcome back to Bulgaria, where the Rila Mountains are playing host to a thrilling fight to the finish between Dani Sordo and Petar Solberg. The next challenge is the 18 kilometres of Slavovica. There are no battles for rally leader Sebastian Loeb to worry about. Another fast, wide, sweeping section here for the Frenchman to enjoy as he continues serenely on his way. He really has treated the Bulgarian fans to another masterclass of control and precision this weekend. Back to that exciting scrap for second. Meanwhile, after losing ground to Petar Solberg on the previous test, Dani Sordo knows he has a fight on his hands to hold on to his position. Let's take a look at Dani's onboard telemetry through another of these blisteringly quick sections.
Izquierda 7 a fondo 70. 7 a fondo 70. Derecha 8 a fondo.
Look at that, an incredible 216 kilometres an hour briefly there on bumpy tarmac. You won't see much quicker speeds than that this season. And some frighteningly quick corners here too. Sordo is really on it this morning.
8 a fondo, furgoneta 50 y derecha 7 a fondo y 100. Poco cinturín. Izquierda 7.
Petar Solberg's rigid setup works well in stage 11, but in Slavovica his C4 is less suited to the conditions through these more slippery early kilometres.
Unseen 5 left plus tight.
He adopts a more cautious approach with the car feeling nervous on the dirty sections of asphalt and begins to lose some ground. He's 5 seconds down at the 10 kilometre split time. Sordo responding well to the challenge then. You'll know he's up in this stage and he's clearly still pushing to extend his advantage. A terrific drive here from Dani to hold off the most experienced driver in the field. The battle for second taking another twist then. Has Petar recovered any ground through the second half of stage 12?
And line into 6 left.
The finish boards are fast approaching.
Tightens 4, opens and 6 left, half long, tightens a little.
He's going to be slower.
Okay.
Yeah, but Solberg did make a late recovery. He's only lost 2.7 seconds to Sordo by the end of that stage. In his first outing in a World Rally car since a private entry in a Skoda Fabia early in 2009, meanwhile, PG Anderson continues to hold it steady in 7th place. Another driver who'll be more than happy with his Bulgarian outing is Peugeot privateer Frigay Turan. The Hungarian should now make the short trip home on the back of an impressive 8th place finish and a handful of World Championship points. Behind Turan's Peugeot 307 on the leaderboard is a frustrated Matthew Wilson. The British driver has really struggled to find confidence on his first tarmac rally for several months. He's changed the ride height for the final day, but is still languishing down in 9th position.
Right 6, 30, right 4.
Regular Stobart Ford runner Henning Solberg has switched to the normally aspirated S2000 Fiesta for this event. The Norwegian has been very impressed with the new car, which could provide a bright future for Ford. Henning is in 10th. No change in position after the morning loop, but Sordo has extended his advantage in second slightly following that fastest time in stage 12. His lead over Petar Solberg is now 6.5 seconds, but with another 47 kilometres to run, this battle is still very much alive. We saw Dani Sordo hitting some impressive speeds in that stage. Let's compare him against his rivals through that section with Virtual Spectator. The 3 Citroens locked together early on, Hirvanen's Ford already trailing. But Sordo was comfortably the fastest, 13 kilometres an hour faster than Solberg and 17 quicker than Hirvanen. But it's not all about straight line speed. You can see there Solberg carrying more speed through the long corners that follow. Just 2 stages remain then to decide the outcome of the first ever WRC Rally Bulgaria. Sebastian Loeb is already on his way into the second pass through the 29.5 kilometre Mahobo stage and enjoying his Sunday afternoon drive for what has been another faultless driving display. There are plenty of dirty patches of bumpy tarmac around though. Caution, the order of the day for the world champion. Position still very much up for grabs in this final pair of stages. Can Petter Solberg make up 6.5 seconds over the last 47 kilometres?
200 up to the chicane, left into, one right, one left, 80, unseen, 4 right minus, tightens neat, 1 plus opens, half long, and tightens cut, neat, and
Full Petter completely sideways on the gravel covered tarmac there. He's still pushing. Danny Sordo is the man being hunted. It's been a mature, controlled rally so far for the man from Santander, but he'll be feeling the pressure as the Bulgarian event draws to a tense climax.
What will Olivier Canel be saying to you? Get the points for the manufacturers or get second?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. I am not to speak with Olivier, so not to speak today. But of course I need to keep the points for the manufacturers, but for me I want to try to win in second. No?
Solberg and Chris Patterson are still right on the limit, but Petter learned in New Zealand these last minute charges do not always go to plan.
100.
Close call at that gravel covered corner. Petter a bit wide on the exit.
Plus into. Slight right opens long to keep left over crest, 56 right, tightens, 5 plus, tightens a little, keep in.
Yet another slippery corner there. This second loop becoming a real challenge, especially when on the attack. That's Solberg's target time to break into second place.
50, slight right 150, keep middle, over extra long.
Well, he's not going to do it here.
50, keep left over crest, okay.
Petter's made up another second, but is it too little too late?
Very quickly, didn't he?
It sounds like he had tyre problems in there.
I lost 2 seconds at the end there. Lost 2 seconds at the end.
Why? What happened?
I just stopped up in the gravel. So that was
Petter's unhappy, but it's certainly still doable. With just under 18 kilometres left, he's 5.5 seconds behind Sordo's second place. Ogier, Hirvonen and Latvala continue to make up the rest of the top 6, while up front, Loeb's lead stands at around half a minute. Second place is still to be decided, while Sebastian Loeb has just one stage between himself and victory. Join us again after the break. Welcome back to sunny Bulgaria, where just one stage remains between Sebastian Loeb and an incredible 58th career win, while Danny Sordo and Petter Solberg are still fighting it out for second. Kimi Räikkönen has continued to impress since his restart after a frustrating day one crash. He's fought his way back up from 26th to 11th place, but it looks as though he'll fall just short of breaking back into the point-scoring places. Whoa! Well, that's definitely decided it now. Let's take another look. Yeah, he just got his braking point completely wrong and ploughs straight on into the bushes. Look at the clock, a lot of time lost already. Kimi helped out of the ditch by a former F1 supporter maybe. They do get back on the road, but that late trip into a ditch has cost the Finn almost a minute. He's enjoyed himself on tarmac, but in contrast to Räikkönen, Mikko Hirvonen must be looking ahead to the tarmac rally still to come with nothing but dread after what's been a torrid weekend for the Ford team. They're still trailing their French rivals on sealed surface events, and with half the season still to come on asphalt, Mikko's title chances now look very bleak indeed. Hirvonen finishes as the leading Ford in 5th. Sébastien Ogier is another Citroën driver who's recovered well after an early setback. We've not had much chance to judge the Frenchman's true tarmac pace, but a fastest time on the final stage of the rally is a sign that he could improve on 4th place in the asphalt events left this season. Danny Sordo's had a frustrating year so far, being regularly outshone by Citroën's new hotshot Ogier. But back on his happy hunting ground on tarmac, the Spaniard knows he's one of the quickest drivers on the planet. Danny has set his marker for Solberg to chase. And at the stop control, he seems to think he's done enough. Danny, congratulated by his father. Second place would be his best result of the season to date. So it's down to Petter then. And that small mistake on the penultimate stage seemed to rattle the Norwegian. Can he do anything about his 5.5 second deficit? No, he's not going to do it. Solberg settles for third, but that's still a fantastic result on his first rally with new co-driver Chris Patterson.
Well done, good job. Honestly, I'm very, very happy. Third place, and we are getting faster and faster all the time. The car has been perfect, and we were very nervous before the rally, I can tell you. And at the same time, you know, I said it yesterday, third place is more than enough for me.
Even the considerable skills of Solberg and Sordo, though, couldn't match the performance of Sebastian Loeb. The Frenchman's hold on the front spot has been ruthless. He's not been challenged from start to finish. With the hard work already done, his final day has been a breeze. He maintains his unbeaten run on tarmac, and that's 58 wins for Loeb and Monaco-born co-driver Daniel Eleanor. It's now surely a case of when, rather than if, Loeb secures championship number 7.
It has been perfect. Very good first day. Then second day, difficult condition. Just it was important to keep the rhythm, not to make a mistake. And today, just no risk and cruising. But yeah, for sure, it's a perfect weekend and some very important points for the championship.
So Sebastian claims the first ever WRC Bulgaria win by just under half a minute, while Sordo pips Petter Solberg to second by just 6.8 seconds. It's another disappointing return for Hirvonen, while Ogier ensures Citroën claimed the first ever top 4 lockout since Toyota at Safari in 1993.
Olivier, a historic moment for Citroën, the first time you've claimed the top 4 places.
Yeah, I heard it's the first time for the brand. For Citroën, so it's I'm very pleased, and I hope maybe next time we will be 5 with Kimi.
Seb, congratulations, another standout performance on tarmac.
Yeah, it was really a good performance again on tarmac, another victory, the first of the season on tarmac, so it's a good news for the future. We have 3 tarmac rallies coming, so I'm really happy to win here.
The last person to beat Sebastian Loeb on tarmac was Marco Martin in a Ford in 2004-2005. So that's, you know, he's been unbeaten on asphalt. So you know, they've got a very strong driver lineup, and it's going to be very difficult. But we'll not be giving up, that's for sure.
Loeb's 4th win of the season sees him on 151 points. Ogier keeps second, 51 behind Loeb. Mikko Hirvonen's third, but now 65 points adrift of the championship leader. Petter Solberg has closed the gap on 4th place Latvala to just 2 points. In the manufacturers' standings, that dominant weekend for Citroën means for the second rally in a row they extend their lead over Ford by 21 points. They are now 47 ahead. And after a stunning debut, it's Petter Solberg's new co-driver Chris Patterson who's awarded the Abu Dhabi Spirit of the Rally after the pair put in a fantastic performance to finish the rally third. You'll find a full review of all the spills and thrills from Rally Bulgaria on WRC.com. Plus, there's a preview to the next event as the crews prepare to head to Finland, the spiritual home of rally. But here in Bulgaria, it's Loeb who's back to his winning ways, celebrating his 58th career victory. And Chris Patterson gets a drenching on his first ever WRC podium. It's been another dominant display from the championship leader. Ford's Finns will be out for revenge on home turf, but for now, from Bulgaria, it's goodbye.